So, genuinely, everything that you've ever learned around self help, around improving yourself, around the anxiety that you have, think of any problem that you have. Maybe a fear that you're not enough, the self doubt, where can I become a closer? Can I become this type of person? Can I become successful at what I'm doing? Right, go down the list. All these limiting beliefs. The argument that I'm going to make in this video is that it's not more self help you need. It's not more motivation. It's not even necessarily like letting go or, just being yourself or, stuff like that you'll hear as well. It's looking at it at like a completely different lens of like reality is what you need to look at it from. And that is simply why you always have the problem with this is that you keep looking at it from the same perspective and lens. And when I say perspective, I don't mean like feel good perspective. I don't mean perspective in terms of people have it worse, but the way that you relate to those emotions have you caught up in that same trap. And the way to break out of it is to change the way that you view the entire problem together. And the greatest unlock that I've had for raising my life up to all the different teams that we manage, influencing different people, and just scaling up my vision for reality, and how the impact I want to have on the world. The single greatest skill set that I've developed and the quality of my life is into extent to this skill. Like this is the number one skill that drives everything. Everything good in my life has come from this skill. My ability to close under pressure, my ability to lead people, my ability to show up consistently even when I don't feel like it. My ability to connect with people. I mean, the ability to handle conflict with people. Just go down the list. Every single thing in your life points to this one thing. And every single therapy also points to this in terms of what it builds up. And then every single outcome you chase points to this as well. So everything in your life points to this. And it's one of those things that you can't necessarily run from. It's just the reality of it. Everything points, your quality of life, everything points towards the quality of your emotional life. Emotional life. Emotional life, and that becomes before intellectual life. It comes for these different dimensions in Sales.io in the private community. We teach these different dimensions and expand them out. But emotional life is single-handedly the biggest thing that is blocking your business, blocking your own personal development, but most importantly, your satisfaction with life. Waking up and feeling at peace. That is the hallmark of good emotional life. Emotional life too. Here's the thing with like books and everything, right? There's this cool little book, right? I got a bunch on my desk, right? There's, this little book. We got some philosophy here, right? The good thing with books is that they can expand your frames of reality, right? So we have truth here, expand the frames of reality, right? We can have, these things that happen, right? But you can only expand the frame of reality based off of your level of emotional truth that you have, based off of your emotional acceptance of that frame. And if you don't feel it to be true, then you're never going to actually fall into a place where you actually accept that frame, right? You genuinely need to believe in your body that it is actually true. You genuinely need to believe that. If you don't have that instinctual belief, then you can't actually get to that level where you actually go to the next phase and actually unlock it. So what does that mean? What is that? What is emotional truth? What am I talking about? Your life is defined by this sequence of this emotional buildup that you have. You have a certain tension that you carry in your body that you don't know exists. You claim it's the way that you are, and you claim that it's maybe perhaps this this thing that's just like kind of just a part of you, or maybe you have to do with work. But this silent like emotional buildup, it's something that comes from a lack of management of not realizing that it's the core problem holding you back is the way that you're actually understanding and connecting to your emotions. And what you need to do, what I'm urging, what I've realized through reading all these different books, is that the best way to unlock the life you want is to actually go back and release a lot of these suppressed emotions, right? I've seen people that they'll have like maybe just like chronic health issues, right? They go to like, a bunch of doctors, right? And they still have the stomach issue. They do this, thing that they're always trying these different therapies, things like that. Things aren't going away no matter how hard they work or how valuable they become, right? People follow all these lies, right? Oh, I'll just become more valuable, or oh, I'll just find someone to date and stuff and everything will fall away, right? And you'll be fine, right? It's not true, because it's running from the fact of there's this emotional life that is unresolved. So what I'm prompting in this video, because these are all messages to myself that I wish I'd known, is like, identify this buildup of emotion that you have. Like, where is it built up? And you'll be able, once you become more intuitive with it, you'll be able to feel tension in your neck. You'll be able to feel tension in your body, your heart, your mind. You'll notice your mind starts ruminating on thoughts. There'll be these different elements that start to happen. And I used to think that was my personality, or I used to think, oh, that means I need to read another book or self-help. No, the solution is there's an emotion that needs to be resolved. Whether I express that through a workout, whether I express that through an aggressive action forward, that is the actual only way to move the energy. The solution is not to label the energy or to try to understand the origin of it and where it comes in childhood or anything like that. It's none of that. It's to actually have the emotion flow through you, because it's causing a buildup and it's lowering your potential. So a lot of you won't understand this. This isn't meant to be a mainstream channel where I like break it down in a simple way. This is a little bit hard to grasp sometimes for people, but I want you to start viewing every personality problem, every business problem as an emotion problem, because all we have is energy in life, right? We have energy and time essentially. And emotion, as Tony Robbins says, is energy in motion, right? Energy in motion is emotion, right? And that's what we're doing, is we're moving reality with emotion. That's why it's so much more powerful than logic, so much more visceral and human. And it's the way that you truly capture life. It's the way that you can truly experience the depth of life. But if you never actually let go of this emotional weight, this emotional buildup that's progressing in different areas of your life, and you're misdiagnosing it as a personality problem or something where you got to earn some more things to overcome it, you'll never get to the root of it. So I'm urging you, get to the root of it, process these emotions, and then you'll be able to actually self-evolve. Now, how do you process it? There's different ways. I'm only going to go through a couple, but they're simple. They're honestly simple. And when you realize them, when you realize what the problem is, then you realize why you're doing these things. Because a lot of these things you know to do, but you've been doing them out of a different place. But when you know it's like, oh, this is just a signal that there's some emotional tightness, just kind of an emotion I need to process. Okay, what's the next action I can take to resolve the emotion? That'd be one of them, right? Okay, I'm not really getting perspective or anything like that. What walk? Let me just go on a walk for 30 minutes, 1 hour in nature. Let me reset. Let me have an intense workout, the most intense workout of my life, and actually process it, right? Let me meditate deeply and just sit in silence. Even though I keep running away from silence, let me just sit there, right? And you'll have these tendencies too. You might just want to overwork, but notice how you feel when you do that, right? Sometimes the answer is not always work. Sometimes the answer is, I need to just be okay sitting and doing nothing. Sometimes that's the most productive thing to do. I know it's crazy to say that. Sometimes it's the most productive thing to do is just sitting in silence and being okay doing nothing. Sometimes that's how you can learn to be the most productive, because you're not running anymore. And when you're not running anymore, you're able to unlock your greatness at a more consistent basis. And that's what this whole channel is about. So that is the lesson today. I urge you, explore these unresolved emotions, whatever that looks like for you. And I can sense, if you've watched this far, you kind of know what I'm saying. You know deep down what that unresolved emotion is. Face it and let it flow through your body so you can finally let go of it. I'll see you in the next video.